Hello everyone. In this video we are going to discuss that how to pass structure into function as an argument. Now before going into the exact programming, let us understand how the function works and how the structure can be passed into it. Whenever we say that we have a function, now definitely when I'm saying a function and passing the structure into function, we are talking here about user defined functions. Okay, we're not talking about the library functions or which are already available. We're talking here about the functions. Now with the function we have three portions. First is your declaration part. When you say that there is a function, then the function is required to be called inside your main program, and there will be another part which contains the what this purpose of the function or what this function is exactly going to do. Okay, so we have three portions of the function. First we have to declare that there is a function with so and so name. Then we have to call the function with the required parameters or arguments by passing into it through the main program, and we should have a function definition written in your program so that what exactly this function has to do once it is being called by the main function and having certain arguments with it. Okay, this is what the function looks like. Now our purpose here to understand that how can we pass a structure into the function at the time of calling or at the time of declaration, whatever it is. How can we pass the structure into the function as a parameter or argument? Okay, this is what the required thing here. Now clearly we understood about the function, and in the previous videos of previous classes we have seen about the structure. So we have the definition of structure or declaration of structure. Okay, and after the declaration of structure, once we define a structure, we need to definitely we need to define the data type and the variable of struct type in the main function in order to you can say allocate the memory for these structure parameters. We have done that in the earlier video. If you wish, you can watch that structure declaration video again. Now our program here will be divided into sections in which we will be declaring the structure. Okay, this is our one part. Then we will be declaring a function of function. Fine. Then inside, then we have to definitely write a main function, and inside main function we have to perform two subtasks. First we have to declare a variable of the structure type. Okay, this structure type variable we have to create, and then we have to call function by passing this particular variable, and we have to call the function, and this function will be the function which we have declared here. Now remember, if you have earlier done the programming or for future as well, that whenever you are going to call a function, the definition or the declaration of the function should be done beforehand. That means before writing the main function or writing the call function statement, you need to declare the function, just the definition part, just the declaration part. The further definition you can always define later on. Otherwise, if you do not declare the function and you simply call the function and think that we will be defining it later on, the error will come like a function does not exist, or you have called something which is not existing or not defined somewhere. Okay, so now the step 1 was declare the structure, step 2 declare a function, step 3 was write a main program in which create a variable of struct type so that the memory will be allocated for the structure variables through which you can access the member of the structure. Then call the function in the main program by passing that particular variable. Okay, and definitely, because we have here only declared the function, so we need to further define the function. Now definition is what this function is exactly going to do and what will be the return type of the function. Okay, so these are the steps in order to perform our how to pass the structure into function. And how it will be working, we'll see by writing a code into it. Okay, so we will be writing the program as defined in the previous screen, that we will be dividing our whole program into 4 things. So the first one will be, we have to declare your structure. Okay, this will be my first step. Then I have to declare a function. Okay, then I am going to write my main program. Then I will be writing the function definition. Okay, now declaring a structure is very easy, as we have already done. Use the keyword struct and then write some name, let's say student, which we usually do. And remember that the structure, the class, these will be ending with the semicolon. Okay, the definition will be ending with semicolon. Now inside the structure I have let's say integer and roll, then we have name, and let's say grades. Fine, these are my members. Now I have to declare a function. So let's say declare a function which is the return type is void. Okay, now this function will take the struct student as argument. Okay, now because this is only declaration of function, so we can finish over here by writing a semicolon. Okay, if I'm looking for the definition part, we'll definitely do that later on. Then we will not write the statement terminator over here, rather we will define it. Now let's move on to my main program. So let's say integer main. My program is going to return me integer value, and inside the main I said we have to do 2 things, 2 subtasks. First one, we have to create the variable for the struct data type. So for doing so, we have that struct student, and if I write s, so this s will become the struct type variable. Okay, that means we can always define, or we can always either enter or display the values with the reference of this s variable. Okay, so let me write something in quick format. Okay, so I have only simply tried to write enter enrollment, enter name, enter grades. Now remember, we have taken we have used the scanf to take the input for enrollment and grade from the user, and I have written here gets. So we have already discussed that in my earlier videos. The purpose is here again, if you have given the space between the names, then it should take the whole streamline of text rather than looking up for only these spaces. Now this is the first part. We have created a variable of structured data type, and then we are actually scanning the values for the variable according to the data members of the structure. Now the second subtask was to call the function. Okay, so we'll be writing my function is name is display. So display, and remember the name of the function which you have declared and you have called should be same. Okay, and with this display I'm going to pass the variable through which we are actually getting the data from the user, and we want to access the parameters of the structured data type. Okay, now my last part of the program is defining the function, because as of now we haven't defined the function. So let's say my function was, the name of the function was display, right? Display, and it was taking the argument of structure student, and now we have come up with the variable. So we'll be writing this, that the function will take the argument a structure which is of the s variable which is of structured data type. Okay, so this is my, now as I said, if I am only declaring the function, I will put a semicolon over here, but I am not here declaring it. Declaration has already been done. So we have to define the body. So we'll be writing a curly braces to define. So now inside the function, what I prefer to let's say display the value which we have already entered into the structure by accessing the variable s. So let's do that quickly, like printf. Okay, so we have now written the value of the variables. Now we are going to display. Remember, with the dot operator we used to access the variable of the structured data type. So s is my variable. So technically what we are doing in this program, we have declared a structure of student data type. We are passing the values by reading from the main function in this variable s, and the display function displays the associated value of the struct data type variable s for student details. Okay, so my outcome will be that I will be able to display the student detail. Let's see how it is going to happen. So we can see here we have taken the enrollment name and grade as an input in the variable s of the structured data type, and with this dot operator s.enroll s.name we are actually accessing the variable, and we are scanning the value for the data members of the structure like enrollment, name and grades. And in the definition of the function we have written that this function is going to display these values. Now from where these S values will come? They will be coming through the main function, because before calling the function we have scanned these input, or we have taken these input from the user side. Okay, this is the method of passing the structure in the function. The same we can pass the union in the function. Remember that the union has a clause of that only one of the data members can access the memory location at one time. Thank you for watching.